Hi, my name is Gail, and I'm one of the Adult Services Librarians at the Romeoville branch of the White Oak Library District. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pinwheel wreath. So stop by one of the branches to get your supplies, and we can begin. When you get your kit, you're going to find a wreath, some ribbon, straight pins, some paper circles, and two sizes of rectangle, which is printed on both sides. What you'll need to get is you need to have scissors, hot glue gun, and pliers or a thimble. I recommend pliers, but a thimble will work as well. So you are going to start with your pins, your wreath, and your ribbon. So you're going to take your ribbon and you're going to pin it on an angle to the wreath. And the reason for an angle is, while it does fray a little bit, if you cut it straight, the fray will go all the way up the ribbon and you will just be left with some strings. So if you need to rework your ribbon, this one's been reworked several times. For any reason, you'll protect your ribbon. So you're going to do your first loop around. And I overlap my pin, my ribbon a little bit that I'm pulling through, and I attach it to the one underneath. And you do it again. Now we're trying not to do too much overlapping. And the reason is you should have plenty of ribbon, but if you do a lot of overlapping, it might be a little short at the end. Of course, if it is short, it's no problem for you to unwrap it and start a little bit over. So once you get it mostly wrapped, you're going to make sure that it's covered on both sides. So you might say, well, I thought you said there'd be plenty of ribbon left over. It does look a little short. And you're right. However, I already cut the ribbon because this has been a sample. So this is how much I had left. I had quite a bit. And you can use the ribbon to make a hanger if you want, or you can do something else for your hanger. So once again, you want to cut at an angle. Once you've cut it, you might want to tuck it under. No one's going to see the back of your wreath, but it does give a finished look if you tuck it under and pin that down. So since I have this much ribbon, I want to cut this as well so we can have a better sample to work with when we're pinning, so it's not distracting. All right, so pin it and all right, go ahead and set your wreath aside. And now it's time to get your paper squares. So you're going to fold each square diagonally. Both ways. It does not matter which way you make your folds, whether you make them the dots out or whatever pattern you have for one side. All right, once you have your squares folded, go ahead and take your scissors, fold, and then you're going to cut on that fold line almost to the center. I don't know how well you can see. Okay. And then you're going to cut it about the same on the other side. So folding again. So you can see maybe it's half an inch. I don't think it's 3/4 of an inch. Okay. And you'll do the same. Like I said, you're going to cut all of yours. So of course you don't want to cut all the way through to the center. So it's better to leave it a little short because you can always cut things more than that. Okay, so now it's going to be time to glue. There's a couple of choices you have. You can have your pinwheels with this always the back and this always the front. And by that I mean when you fold it over, the back comes around and you do alternate corners. Okay. Of course you can do it the opposite way. In addition, you can do left corner on all of them, or you could do right corner on all of them, or you could do left corner and then right corner. It doesn't really matter when you put it on the wreath. There's will be a little different directions going on, but it's just a preference thing. The way I glued it with my hot glue gun is I spread a little bit on, and then I carefully fold it over, making sure, and then usually need to put one more drop on when I'm getting to that last corner. Once you have all of your pinwheels made, they're going to look something like this. Okay, so we have our smaller ones and we have our larger ones. I use a lot of glue. I don't know if I use more than the average person or not, but as you can see, it's not like the prettiest center. But don't worry about it. Once we get them pinned on the wreath, that's what those round, the circle papers are for, to pin and glue in the middle. I did mine all with the watermelon on the back and the speckles on the front. And I also glued them all the same way. So go ahead and take your wreath. It doesn't matter which side the pins are on. I suppose it would look prettier to have it covered. And this is where your pliers or thimble will come in handy, particularly if you like glue the way I do. So you're going to poke your pin through the center, which with that much glue can be a little difficult, a little tight, sore on your fingers. Okay, I'm gonna poke it through and then place it on the wreath. Just poke it in. Now I recommend starting with a large one and working the other ones in, but you can do it any way you want. You can do it all the way around from the start to the finish, or you can do a little freestyle. This one already had the pin in it, made it easy. You can do a little freestyle. So you can make the pinwheel as close together as you want, as far apart as you want. This one I think is a little close. So you just gently pull it out and put it down in a new spot, and you can see how easy that is. Also, not as much on the big one, but on the small ones, sometimes the loop gets a little smashed. You could do this sooner, but I recommend once you get it pinned on is when the best time to do it is. And you just simply kind of press it gently upwards to give it the better 3 dimensions. Once you're all done getting your pinwheels on, you go ahead, fire up that glue gun again, and you're going to put dots of glue in the middle, and you're going to put the centers on the pinwheel to cover that center part up. And when you're all done, you have your finished pinwheel. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.